Alright, so Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals was last night, and the Oilers just aren't looking very good right now. They need to make a lot of changes if they want to bring the Cup back to Canada this year, and the Panthers were just all over them last night. The Panthers were in complete control of this game. They have a 3-2 lead in the series now, and the Oilers really need to step it up if they want to win the Cup. Getting into the actual game, nobody scored within the first few minutes. For the first time pretty much all series, Ottawa Senators legend Connor Brown did get a pretty decent chance early on, but was stopped by Big Bob. About 9 minutes into the first period, the Rat himself, Brad Marchand, would open the scoring pretty much right off the draw by going on a break towards the net and shooting it top shelf past Calvin Pickard. 1-0 Panthers. This is the fourth game in a row where the Oilers have allowed the Panthers to score the first goal, and that is something that Edmonton really needs to get under control or else they're going to lose the series on Tuesday, plain and simple. Leon Draisaitl would then respond by faking a goal. I was jumping out of my seat thinking this went in, but no, it actually hit the side of the net, and this was not a goal, so still 1-0 Panthers. With just under 2 minutes left in the first, everyone's favorite goalie assassin, Sam Bennett, would pick up a rebound from Matthew Tkachuk to put the Panthers up 2-0, and all of a sudden, Edmonton was just not looking very good at all. Both teams had a power play opportunity in the late first and early second, but neither were able to capitalize on them. Well, actually, nobody was able to capitalize at all in the second period, because the second period ended with the exact same score as the first, 2-0. So here we go into the third, where things got even worse for Edmonton. A little over 5 minutes into the period, Brad Marchand would double down and score the goal of the series. That is one of the filthiest goals I've seen in a long time. That was just an incredible goal by Marchand, and the Panthers are now up 3-0. Now, if you remember in the previous game, the Panthers were also up 3-0, and the Oilers managed to come back and win that game in overtime. Surely that could happen again this time, right? Well, the Oilers seem to think so, as Connor McDavid scores one just a few minutes later, his first goal of the finals, to put the Oilers on the board and make it 3-1. At this point, the Oilers finally have some life in this game, they have some hope. Surely they can make a comeback and force overtime again. Sam Reinhart scores less than a minute later. 4-1 Panthers. Edmonton decides to pull their goalie with 5 minutes left in the game. Corey Perry scores. 4-2 Panthers. The Oilers have life again in this game. Unfortunately, the Oilers are unable to keep this momentum, and Luostarinen gets an empty netter to make the final 5-2 for Florida, and I'm concerned for the Oilers for Game 6. I really am. Obviously, in a Game 5 like this, somebody has to go up 3-2, that's just, how it goes. But the thing that makes me really concerned about the Oilers at this point is that the 2 games the Oilers have won have both been in overtime. They've been super, super close. Whereas 2 of the 3 games the Panthers have won have been utter blowouts, where they've been in control those entire games. And that's really the main difference between these two teams. Now, if there's one thing we know about the Edmonton Oilers team, it's that when they are facing elimination, when their backs are against the wall, they tend to just clutch up and do amazing. Look at Game 4 of the Finals last year. I did a video on it. Panthers were up 3-0 in the series, and the Oilers won Game 4 by a score of 8-1. Stuart Skinner had the game of his life, and they pushed that series to 7 games. However, notice how I said Stuart Skinner had the game of his life. Game 6, I think, entirely depends on Edmonton's goaltending. If Stuart Skinner or Calvin Pickard, whoever they decide to play amazing, it'll go to Game 7, which already we know will be an all-timer. But if Skinner or Pickard continue to play terrible like they have recently, then the Panthers are going to lift the cup on Tuesday and win their second Stanley Cup in a row, so we'll see what happens.